Right now, the delay for a demolition is really more tied to the weather conditions.
A cold, wet winter sets back the rehabilitation of the Glen Acres neighborhood. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jeff Smith.
And I'm Nicole Kahn. One more neighborhood is being added to the Chatham Square Glen Acres project.
The Vinton neighborhood will now be included in that rehabilitation of that part of town.
Ava Wilhite explains why. Ava?
The $7.8 million proposal was originally made for just the Glen Acres and Chatham Square developments. Now a looming September deadline has project coordinators concerned that they're not going to be able to acquire the 14 foreclosed houses in Glen Acres alone to complete the project. Demolition at the old Bridgeway Apartments is moving along, but it should have been completed months ago. Dennis Carson is the director of the Lafayette Redevelopment Department. He says the original demolition completion date was January 25th, 2010.
Right now, the delay for a demolition is really more tied to the weather conditions that they've encountered over the past several weeks. The wet weather and then the previous cold weather in the winter has delayed the demolition. So we had a change order today to change it to a May 1st completion.
Carson says construction workers have also encountered more concrete underneath foundation than originally surveyed.
Once they know the final quantities, then we'll be able to go back and compare those to what we had contracted for and see what the differences are, and then negotiate that extra cost.
At the Redevelopment Commission meeting, it was a unanimous vote to add one more neighborhood to be revitalized. The Vinton area will now be a part of the project.
Vinton is contiguous to Glen Acres, the very same type of architecture, all National Homes properties. That has a higher concentration at this point in time of unsold foreclosures.
In order for a house to qualify for the rehabilitation project, it must have been through the foreclosure process for the city to be able to buy it. The city has purchased 5 homes and 9 more need to be purchased by September.
For whatever reason, HUD is very adamant about this deadline. Money doesn't have to be spent, but it has to be obligated by September of this year, or we lose the money. We have to turn back what has been unspent. That has to be turned back to HUD.
Kraft says another reason all the houses could not be in the Glen Acres neighborhood alone is because of house flippers that can also bid on the foreclosed properties. Also, the redevelopment office was granted a tax credit from the U.S. Department of Treasury for just over $1.2 million this morning. Eva Wilhite, News Channel 18.